he's ever seen.
Thousands of more asylum seekers arriving here, waiting for a place to sleep and a fresh start tonight.
Humanitarian and operational challenges when it comes to housing tens of thousands of migrants and asylum seekers.
FBI says a Venezuelan gang called Tren de Aragua has made its way to the borderline.
Officials think this could be the largest gang takedown in history.
Over the globe have made their minds up that they're going to come through the southern part of the border and come into New York City.
New York's migrant crisis. The ongoing migrant crisis in New York City and at the southern border of the United States has been a source of chaos, fury, and mistakes, affecting both the migrants and the communities tasked with handling the influx. In New York City, more than 150,000 people have arrived in less than 2 years, overwhelming the city's resources and throwing it into crisis. Emergency shelters are crammed with nearly 70,000 migrants, with families forced to sleep on floors or huddle on sidewalks in the cold winter months. The city is spending hundreds of millions of dollars each month to care for them, leading officials to refer to the situation as our new normal. This crisis stems from various factors, including global upheaval, lax federal immigration policies allowing record numbers of migrants to enter the country without legal work options, and a local rule mandating the city to offer shelter to every homeless person. While some aspects are beyond the city's control, others can be traced back to actions taken or not taken by local authorities. The Adams administration's response to the crisis has been marred by missteps and shortcomings. Basic steps to help migrants transition out of shelter and find permanent housing were delayed, exacerbating the problem of overcrowded shelters. Assistance with filing for asylum, which could have provided a legal pathway to employment for thousands, was also significantly delayed. Moreover, the city's handling of contracts and vendors has raised concerns, with over $2 billion awarded in no-bid contracts, some to vendors accused of mistreating migrants.
In today for David Navarro, adding to the desperation, many migrants say they don't have water or access to restrooms.
Humanitarian and operational challenges when it comes to housing tens of thousands of migrants and asylum seekers.
Migrants don't want to be in shelter for the rest of their lives. They're here just to get a little bit opportunity to get out.
And so if anyone that states bringing 70,000 people to a city,
the cost of housing each migrant household has more than doubled compared to housing homeless families before the crisis. Mayor Adams' approach to seeking assistance from state and federal officials has been criticized for its antagonistic tone, potentially hindering cooperation and exacerbating the challenges faced by the city in addressing the crisis. Despite these challenges, New York City has largely fulfilled its obligation to shelter migrants, demonstrating a commitment to humanitarian principles. However, critics argue that avoidable mistakes have been made, contributing to the severity of the crisis.
Mayor Adams doubling down on his executive order limiting the amount of migrant buses in the city.
He is preparing for possibly getting 50 to 100 migrants here in the city each day.
Saturday, the mayor of Edison now says he's chartering his own buses to send them right back.
over the globe have made their minds up that they're going to come through the southern part of the border and come into New York City.
Meanwhile, at the southern border, efforts to address migrant crossings have led to a decrease in numbers, with barriers implemented by Texas Governor's border barriers contributing to the slowdown. Collaborative efforts between agencies like Customs and Border Protection and the Texas Department of Public Safety have targeted human smugglers, resulting in the capture of migrants and prosecution of individuals involved in smuggling operations. Despite these measures, migrants continue to find ways to cross into the United States, highlighting the ongoing challenges faced in managing the southern border crisis. The migrant crisis in New York City and at the southern border underscored the complexities and challenges of managing large-scale immigration influxes. Effective responses require cooperation, coordination, and a commitment to humanitarian principles to ensure the well-being of migrants and the communities tasked with supporting them.
He's ever seen.
Thousands of more asylum seekers arriving here, waiting for a place to sleep and a fresh start tonight.
The Biden administration is considering forcing migrant families to stay in Texas during the asylum process.
Will not be another foot of wall constructed on my administration. to sleep out here. They were each given a ticket with a number on it to mark their spot in line for intake.
Tackling New York's gang threat. The emergence of the Venezuelan street gang known as Tren de Aragua in New York City has raised significant concerns among law enforcement agencies, leading to heightened scrutiny of arriving migrants for distinctive tattoos associated with the gang. The gang's presence in the city has been linked to a surge in criminal activities, including cell phone robberies and other violent incidents, prompting both local and federal authorities to take proactive measures to address the situation. Reports indicate that the New York National Guard has been instructed to check all migrants arriving in the city for tattoos that may link them to the Tren de Aragua gang. These tattoos often feature symbols such as AK-47 rifles, the Nike logo, stars, gas mask, and other distinctive imagery associated with the gang's identity. The presence of these tattoos serves as a red flag for law enforcement officials, indicating potential affiliations with the gang and raising concerns about public safety. The gang's origins trace back to Venezuela, where it originated as a railroad labor union in the Aragua region before evolving into a criminal organization involved in various illicit activities.
FBI says a Venezuelan gang called Tren de Aragua has made its way to the borderline.
A transnational criminal organization known as the Tren de Aragua is a Venezuelan gang
put into prosecution pathways for 1325 illegal entry into the United States.
But why exactly are they a threat to the borderland?
In response to growing concerns about the Tren de Aragua's gang's presence in New York City, law enforcement agencies have stepped up efforts to identify and apprehend gang members involved in criminal activities. The issuance of situational awareness alerts, coordination between precincts, and monitoring of gang-related symbols and iconography have become essential strategies in addressing the threat posed by the gang. However, the situation remains complex, with authorities grappling with the need to balance humanitarian concerns with public safety considerations. The influx of migrants from Venezuela, coupled with the challenges of identifying and addressing gang-related activities, underscores the need for a multifaceted approach to immigration and law enforcement. The Biden administration's carrot-and-stick approach to immigration, which includes providing humanitarian parole to certain groups while enforcing consequences for those who violate immigration laws, reflects the broader policy framework aimed at managing migration flows and addressing security concerns. Nevertheless, critics argue that more robust measures are needed to control the influx of migrants and combat criminal organizations operating within the country. The situation highlights the intricate dynamics surrounding immigration, law enforcement, and public safety, underscoring the need for coordinated efforts at the local, state, and federal levels to address emerging challenges effectively. As authorities continue to grapple with the implications of the migrant crisis and the presence of criminal gangs like Tren de Aragua, collaboration and proactive measures remain essential in safeguarding communities and upholding the rule of law. Gang dynamics and combating MS-13. In the complex landscape of gang activity, MS-13 has emerged as a significant and challenging force. Its decentralized structure making it particularly elusive for law enforcement efforts. Originating in the United States in the 1980s, MS-13 has since spread throughout Central America and back again, presenting a formidable challenge for authorities on both sides of the border. The decentralized nature of MS-13 complicates efforts to combat the gang effectively. While it boasts a large membership, estimated at roughly 50,000 in Central America and 10,000 in the United States, its organization is fragmented into local chapters known as cliques. These cliques operate independently, making it difficult to dismantle the gang as a whole. Despite mass arrests and nationwide operations by agencies like Immigration and Customs Enforcement, MS-13 continues to thrive and expand its influence. The gang's modus operandi involves preying on vulnerable immigrant communities, often targeting individuals who are undocumented and distrustful of law enforcement. This strategy has allowed MS-13 to embed itself deeply within these communities, making it challenging for authorities to root out its members. Furthermore, the political climate surrounding immigration has complicated efforts to address gang-related crime effectively.
FBI says a Venezuelan gang called Tren de Aragua has made its way to the borderland.
Officials think this could be the largest gang takedown in history.
Involved in this operation.
Yeah, so this operation involves members of the Detective Bureau. In particular, there's 2 different units.
Disclose any information regarding the Tren de Aragua, but since this is an ongoing investigation,
by portraying MS-13 as a formidable and pervasive threat, politicians may unwittingly contribute to the gang's allure among marginalized youth seeking belonging and protection. In addition to its activities in Central America and across the United States, MS-13 has extended its reach into New York City, where it is increasingly making its presence felt. The gang's tactics, including claiming asylum at the U.S. border and recruiting new members from Venezuela, underscored the need for vigilance and proactive measures to address gang-related crime. Efforts by the New York National Guard to identify MS-13 members based on distinctive tattoos highlight the challenges of staying ahead of evolving gang dynamics. As gangs like MS-13 adapt their strategies to evade detection, law enforcement agencies must continuously update their tactics and collaborate with community organizations to effectively combat gang activity. Ultimately, addressing the threat posed by MS-13 requires a multifaceted approach that addresses the root causes of gang involvement, strengthens community-based interventions, and fosters collaboration between law enforcement, social services, and affected communities. By understanding the complexities of gang dynamics and adopting a holistic strategy, authorities can work towards dismantling MS-13 and ensuring the safety and well-being of communities affected by gang violence. That's all for this video, folks. See you next time.